Hello everyone, I'm Camith Art, and welcome back to my channel. This week I'd like to talk a little bit about lack of motivation and a bit of art block. I know I'm not the only one that deals with this issue, and it was this piece up on the screen now that I time-lapsed, and I struggled with the pose, I struggled with the shading, I struggled with everything in this piece, and I still feel like it didn't come out the way that I wanted it to. And so what I felt as I was doing this was a lack of motivation to do any kind of art. I didn't want to look at art, I didn't want to draw anything, and I didn't want to finish this piece. Because the more I looked at it, the more I could see what I wanted to change in it. And I know that what I wanted to change would take a lot more skill than what I have at the moment. And it's just an awful feeling of feeling like there's such a big gap of skill from where I am to where I want to be. And because of this piece, I felt like I really wanted to talk a little bit about art block and a few things that I did to stop my art block. So 1, how did I manage to fight off this art block? Well, in particular on this day that I was creating this piece, I felt no motivation because I felt I wasn't at the place I wanted to be skill-wise. So I decided I was going to take a break. And I didn't draw for about a week. And I always find that when I'm really burnt out or art blocked, that I just need to stop for a little while and then let myself continue when I want to. And it usually lasts about a week for me. I'm not sure about other people, but it works for me. The next thing I do or don't do is I won't look at other people's art, because if I'm already in this mental state of that I am not good enough, looking at someone else's art doesn't help with that. So I just stop looking at Instagram, I stop looking at Reddit, and I stop looking at YouTube for a little while. I stopped looking at Instagram, Reddit, and YouTube because I follow a lot of art channels on all of these platforms, and just looking at other stuff that inspires me can really help fight this art block. Point number 2 that I wanted to make is look at your old art. If you're like me and you're in this rut of feeling really down about your own art, I find that looking between some old pieces I did to some of my newer pieces, I can motivate myself and say, I have made improvement from what I was doing maybe just a couple of months ago. And so I would encourage everyone that doesn't do this to always look at their progression and see how much they've improved, because I always find that, for myself at least, it inspires me to keep going. And I know I said I didn't draw for about a week, but that's not true. I still did a couple of sketches, some light gesture studies, but I never went and tried to make a finished piece. And that would be my 3rd tip, is to keep going. Even if you don't want to make a finished piece, you can just make an easy sketch, something that is just comfort art for yourself to make yourself feel a little bit better, so you can go on and get out of this art block that you're currently in. And in this part 3 of Keep Going, I'd say you don't have to necessarily do a sketch, but you can do an art challenge where the design of the character or the way they fit on a page doesn't take as much mental energy to create it, and so it's easier to finish it. And finally, the last thing that I do that's not an art challenge or sketching is, and when I feel like this particularly, I want to my skill in a certain area. So if I feel something in my most recent piece was really bad, say like the hair, I'll go and I'll do a couple of studies to try and improve what was bothering me in that piece. But yeah, those are a couple of my tips to fight art block when it does happen. Let me know, is your art block usually like mine where you feel unmotivated because you don't feel good enough to finish a piece? Or is it a different kind of art block, like you feel like you just have no ideas? Thanks for staying and watching. Please like, subscribe, comment and share, and I'll see y'all in the next one.